Hello everyone, today you will hear a brief recap of the movie Heart of a Lion. Teppo Salminen barely managed to iron his shirt and covered a hole with duct tape. He needed to look presentable for a job interview. But due to his criminal past, he was rejected. He was broke and could not even afford a second cup of coffee. Teppo knew he was not very smart and only good at manual labor. Sadly, nobody needed his kind of hands. Still, he managed to catch the attention of a waitress named Sari. She paid for his second cup of coffee and even invited the unemployed man on a date. "Behave yourself and maybe you'll get lucky tonight," she teased. And he did get lucky that night. But in the morning, Sari noticed swastika tattoos on his body and slapped him in the face. She told him to get out of her house. The bald man went off to play football with his neo-Nazi buddies. But that evening, he was waiting for Sari outside her cafe with flowers. The blonde avoided talking to him. She turns him down, but he asks her to take the flowers. Next time, Teppo found Sari at a bar with her friends. He sat nearby and got on stage to sing her a vulgar yet romantic song. Afterward, he promised not to bother her again and left. But Sari followed him outside. After another passionate night, she once again told him to leave. He stayed a bit longer, just to borrow tools and fix her railing. Sari likes men who are good with their hands. But they could not be together. She had a son. "Your son could be my son," Teppo said. "That's impossible," she replied. Teppo joked, "If there's a black president in America, anything is possible." That made Sari angry, and she locked herself inside. Teppo went back to his gang. "For a white Finland! For a white Finland!" His brother Harry had joined the army. A Negro girl beat up her boyfriend for staring at a non-white girl. Ali, one of the group, attacked a migrant bartender. He thought the man did not give him a receipt. That evening, they flipped over a pizza stand run by a black guy. When he crawled out, they kicked him brutally. Teppo had wasted his life on nonsense, but now it was time to settle down and think about the future. He went back to Sari and tried to explain, he fights for his country and cannot just leave the organization. But that would not stop him from raising her child as his own. Sari warned him that if he ever hurt her son, she would tear him apart. For now, the boy was visiting his father in Sweden. Later, Teppo and Sari went to see Harry's military oath ceremony. They were clearly in love. Soon, Teppo moved in with her. He was nervous about meeting her son and was shocked when he walked through the door. Ramadan had dark skin. Teppo tried to bond with him. "Here, a banana. Bananas are healthy. I'm not hungry." He treated Ramadan like any other child, seemingly unbothered by his skin color. "You're all adults, for God's sake." Things were going well, until the boys saw Teppo's swastika and line tattoos in the sauna, symbols of Aryan pride. The next morning, Ramadan demanded that the Nazi leave. "It's the line of Finland. I'm proud of Finland. A white Finland." Teppo walked the boy to school. Ramadan decided to rebel. He played a Muslim prayer chant on his phone and began praying in the middle of the street. Teppo picked him up later wearing a hat and dark sunglasses, so no one would recognize him. Soon, Ali and the gang showed up at the house, urging Teppo to come to an important meeting where a representative from the capital would be present. They tried to come in, but he did not let them, not even a peek through the window. Ramadan asked Teppo for help with his homework. Outside, the boy jokingly suggested filming the Nazi burning the Finnish flag. Teppo refused. So Ramadan grabbed the lighter and set the flag on fire himself. Teppo ran over and put out the flames. Then the boy suggested filming the bald man beating up a non-white kid. Ramadani would not let up. Through his mother, he asked Teppo to fix the lights in the basement. When Teppo got to work, Ramadan flipped the power switch, and Teppo got electrocuted. Still, he made it to the meeting. At the very last moment, they were discussing foreign vendors selling sausages. The neo-Nazis were proud. They had recently defended the honor of the Finnish food industry. Teppo even received a little statue as a gift. That evening, they discussed the dangers of Islam with a special guest. Ali was jealous of Teppo and wanted to become the leader of the local cell himself. Drunk and stumbling, Teppo rehearsed breaking up with Sari, but when he got home, no one was there. He found a note and rushed to the hospital. Sari had fallen ill and needed to stay there for a while. She also confessed she was pregnant by her bald suitor. Teppo was thrilled and changed his mind about leaving Sari. For now, all responsibility for Ramadan fell on him. It turned out the boy had tried to poison Teppo with rat poison. But his mom was the one who tasted the dinner first. The kid burst into tears, and Teppo offered a truce, at least until Sari came back from the hospital. At school, bullies kept harassing Ramadan, constantly calling him names. Teppo gave him advice. Punch them in the head. Whatever you do not run. In return, Ramadani promised to duck his head in the car so no one would recognize Teppo. That evening, Ali was chasing the dark-skinned boy from the pizza stand in his truck. Teppo no longer found that kind of fun amusing. The next morning, he decided to teach the kid how to fight. They went out to the yard, and Teppo showed him some moves. Just then, Harry showed up. He was fed up with the army and had gone AWOL. Teppo told Ramadan to hide. Harry planned to crash there for a while. As he dropped his bag, grenades fell out. The idiot had stolen them before deserting. Then he noticed photos of Ramadan. Teppo lied, saying Sari was just helping some African kid. The brothers sat in the sauna, but then the older one beat up the younger in the shower to force him to return to the barracks. The next day, the grenades were missing. Teppo, who had served in the army himself, asked for one more chance for his brother. It turned out Harry had deserted because he refused to take orders from an Asian officer. The commander concluded Harry was not just a deserter, but a psychopath. He would be declared unfit for service. Patriotic Harry lost it. He was crushed. They would not let him defend his country. Meanwhile, Teppo was more worried about the missing grenades. When Harry returned home, he rushed into the house. Upon seeing Ramadan, he shouted, "He definitely does not look like one of ours. Harry, I swear I'll kill you if you lay a finger on that boy." Teppo made it clear Harry was not to talk about the kid, touch him, or touch any of his stuff. Otherwise, he would regret it. The man searched the entire house, but the grenades were nowhere to be found. Harry drew a chalk line down the room and told the boy he was not allowed to cross it. When Teppo saw this, he beat his brother up and made him erase the line. He promised Ramadana that Harry would be moving out soon. The boy was scared, so he hid a knife under his pillow. Before bed, Teppo cheered the boy up with a few jokes and spent the night in his room to protect him. In the morning, Harry drew the line on the floor again. During a game, the ball rolled across it and Ramadan had to improvise. Harry threatened to call their neo-Nazi friends if Teppo laid a hand on him again. Teppo visited Sari at the hospital. The poisoning had not harmed the baby, but she would have to stay there a bit longer. Teppo was overjoyed to see the child during the ultrasound. At school, Ramadana's shirt was torn. Teppo beat up 3 bullies and made the ringleader give his own shirt to the boy. Later that day, 3 angry fathers showed up at Teppo's house with baseball bats. They attacked him and began beating him up. Teppo called for his brother's help, but Harry just turned up the volume on the TV. Eventually, though, he changed his mind and happily joined the fight, taking down the uninvited guests. The boy appreciated Teppo's sacrifice and said, "You're a good stepdad. You're not going to leave, are you?" The man teared up and promised he would not leave Ramadan. Next time the boy got attacked, he remembered Teppo's self-defense move and took the bully down. For that, Ramadani was suspended from school for a week. The school claimed that parents only think their kids are being bullied. Teppo stormed into the principal's office and tore up the suspension papers. "If I have to, I'll be his bodyguard, in class and at recess." Naturally, the teachers were not thrilled. "How long do you plan to stay here?" "Until college." Ramadan's father, Salif, came to visit. Harry refused to shake his hand, but Salif just laughed at the racist. Salif was a refugee, but unlike Hari, he was a reserve lieutenant and a taxpayer, while the neo-Nazi lived off government benefits. After Salif left, the angry fathers returned, this time with a whole mob. The men chased Teppo through the streets. He kept his cool and called his Nazi buddies. They surrounded the angry crowd, and the ringleader got punched in the face right away. One guy with glasses tried to bribe them with 400 euros, but the skinheads were not impressed and beat them up too. Teppo made sure no one was seriously injured. "For a white Finland!" Ali yelled several times, and only at the last moment did Teppo reluctantly raise his hand. Hari noticed and confronted his brother. Teppo was supposed to be their leader. The neo-Nazis, all fired up, later attacked a Romani camp. Teppo joined in. He and the others beat everyone there. At home, Ramadani proudly told Teppo he made dinner by himself and asked him to read a bedtime story. Teppo was overwhelmed with guilt and started crying. His brother saw his tears. Later, Teppo confessed to Sari. Moroccan men had hurt his previous girlfriend because of him, because of what he was involved in. Now he was scared that Sari or her son might suffer because of him too. On the way home, he made a promise to Ramadan, "I will never hit anyone again." Teppo arrived at the football field and told the neo-Nazis he would play with them. But he was not alone. He brought the boy out of the car. The skinheads froze as the man and his stepson kicked the ball back and forth. Ali and the other bald thugs surrounded Teppo, but Harry stepped between them. He would not let them hurt his brother, even if he did not agree with his choices. Still, Harry kept insulting Ramadani and his father. He told his brother that he was a disgrace and should leave. Then Salif pulled up and laughed at Harry for being discharged from the army. Teppo tried to hold Salif back, but suddenly Harry appeared on the street holding a grenade with the pin pulled out. Teppo talked him down, convinced him to put the pin back in, and calm down. Salif was about to drive off, but tensions flared again between him, Teppo, and Harry. Before leaving, Salif called Harry a Nazi loser. In response, Harry threw the grenade into his car and blew it up. Fortunately, Salif only ended up with a few scrapes. Harry ran away. Teppo landed behind bars. He refused to snitch on his brother or reveal where he was hiding. Eventually, the brothers arrived at their father's old house. Teppo convinced Harry to turn himself in, promising they would start a business together after. Before parting, Harry apologized for everything he had done, but he never went to the police. He still had one grenade left. He locked himself in the bathroom with it. Teppo realized what was about to happen, but it was already too late. When he returned from the funeral, he found the entire neo-Nazi gang waiting outside his house. They jumped him, beat him down, and pinned him to the ground. Ali pulled out a grinder and erased Teppo's lion tattoo, spraying blood all over the apartment. The neo-Nazis left. Just then, Sari and Ramadan came home. She was horrified, but Teppo just laughed. "It's fine. Everything is really fine now."